episode 3905, How to Gain More Time During the Holidays.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day, strike a chord. Why? Because it's a brand new week. We are in December. Yeah, I know. Breaking news. You're probably like, Christiane, we already knew that. No, it's a big thing because we've got to figure out how to gain more time during the holidays. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter to keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, I just got to tell you, lots happening, and I know a lot is happening with you. So before we even jump into this, I know you're thinking, how in the heck are you going to tell me how to gain more time? It's not feasible. It's not going to work. I'm just going to tune out now. No, I want you to tune in for a minute because there's something here more for you. Seriously. I had this thought when I was out walking my grand dog. Yes, I have a grand dog. He is 7 or going to be 7 years old this coming year. He's old. Not that old, but he's old. Our bulldog, though, is actually older. And so spending time with the grandbabies, it's wonderful. It's fabulous. The grand dog, too. And so I'm outside walking him. He's got to do his business. Wonderful. And all of a sudden it dawned on me as I'm sitting there running my schedule through my head for this week. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I have so much to do. How am I going to get it all done? And I thought, I can't be the only one. And I started thinking and asking myself questions. And you see, this is my thought process. This isn't just about you. Like, this is for me. And I'm going to be selfish here a little bit. And I started thinking, how in the heck am I going to gain more time during the holidays? Because with the cold chill in the air, it's no wonder that all you want to do is stay put, right? And not do anything. I don't want to take the dog outside. It's too cold. I'm down south and it's too cold, all right? Who wants to spend the holidays as if they are playing football in the snow? Did you watch some of those good games? Did you watch the Bengals and the Bills? Oh, it was a great game. I know Bengals were on top and guess who won? The Bills. Yes. I don't know who you're voting for on this one, but it was a great game. Regardless of who you wanted, it was a great football game with the snow included. And I love football games that way. Now, I must be honest with you. I'm not going to sit out in one, but sitting inside watching it, oh yeah. But who wants to really play with the holidays, right? Like they're playing football in the snow. And then at some point, all the things need to get done all because of you, right? Or the holidays are going to feel incomplete. That's the real life story. But my friend, the weather can't be our excuse. It just can't. We can sit there and say, oh, it's snowing or oh, it's too cold. At some point, you have to figure out how to gain more time during the holidays. Because Santa Claus is not handing out extra hours. It would be nice. God doesn't say, oh, by the way, just for you today. Have you watched those Hallmark shows where they go back in time? What if they had a Hallmark show? Oh, breaking news. Maybe we should write one. Maybe we should. I just not thought of that. Well, anyway, what if you could have a Hallmark moment and your Hallmark moment was more hours? Would you really get everything done? Well, I'm just saying, I don't think so. I really don't. And when you are looking at your hours and the time in your day, you have to earn them by making the time you have work more innovative, right? And that starts by connecting to your heart. And you're like, wait, innovative? How do you make time and what you're doing more innovative? You got to think outside the box, right? It's time. You get time back when you're connecting to the heart. And you're like, wait, what? Connection to the heart? What does that even mean? What is this craziness that you're saying? Well, as I was standing out there with a puppy dog, and he was doing his normal thing, and I'm sitting out there. And it's at night, by the way. The moon is beautiful. The stars are bright, but it's freezing. I'm just telling you, it's freezing. And I just kind of took in a cold, deep breath. And I was like, what is it? How do I gain more time? Where am I going to find that? And what it really means is the only way you're going to have that time is if you're connected to your heart more. That's the key. That's what stretches time. And that means you're tuning into what truly matters, not just what's the loudest on your calendar or nagging you in your head or just keeps like popping up as a reminder of to-do list, to-do list, to-do list. It'd be great. It'd be cuter maybe if Olaf would come, wandering into your home and would be like, oh, don't forget, Sue, you have to do. That might be fun as he melts. And then you have to clean that up. And you're like, I don't have time for this. How many of us have spent our life literally just living in this frenzy of, I'm not going to get it all done. And by the time Christmas Eve comes around, you're standing there in your home, maybe in your bedroom. For us, it's in our bedroom, going, I've got all these packages to wrap. What was I thinking? And now Christmas Eve night becomes early Christmas Day morning. I'm talking like the 1 to 4 a.m. And you got to get it all done. And you're like, yeah, I did not at all calculate any of this into my schedule. So how do you get there? How do you prepare? How do you gain more of that time? Well, you obviously have to save time on the right things. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Save time on the right things. Because most of the time, pun intended, we're doing stuff that's all focused on the wrong things. If you are in a job and you have a W-2, I'm not talking about entrepreneurs yet, we could still include them. But as a W-2, you're living your career. You have a boss that says, I need this, I need this. They put you on a schedule. And then maybe it's your job to manage that schedule to get whatever done that you need to get done. So you could be loading the trucks. You could be, writing a book. You could be, coming up with a marketing campaign, whatever it is that you do, right? Maybe it's IT and you're putting in software and it all has to be up and loaded by a certain date, time. It all has to be working. No blips or anything. Like it's got to be on point. So you figure all that out, but ultimately you're not making the big decision as to I got to have it by this time. You're just always on crunch time based on somebody else's decision. But here's the thing. When you're talking about the holidays and how your life wraps around what you want to do with family, with the community, with church, with whatever it is, you got to figure out, how am I going to get there? What does this even look like? So how do you save time on the right things and gain more time during these crazy frenzy holidays? Well, number one, prioritize what feels meaningful, not just urgent. Holiday checklists are full of shoulds shouted by the world, right? You need to do this. Don't forget this, right? Culture, family, tradition. You must. No, but not everything deserves your time or energy. It doesn't. Before committing to another party or another gift run or going out for coffee or tea, a decorating spree, whatever it is, ask yourself, will this make my heart lighter or heavier? And I'm talking about the weight of it. Am I going to feel anxious that I should be doing something else? If you ever have that thought that comes to your mind, your answer should be, I can't do this. This isn't for me right now. If I get some things done, maybe I can. But if you have that hesitation, you need to stick with your gut. Right? Brene Brown puts it like this: daring to set boundaries is having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. When you prioritize what feels meaningful, this saves time not by doing more. It saves time by doing less of what drains you, which leaves space for what energizes you. More energy, faster results, more connection, more time. Because then you're going to have the energy to do it. Sometimes it's kind of this bait and switch thing, kind of. Literally. You got to think about, what am I doing that matters compared to what am I doing just to get done? Or can say, oh, look at me. I've arrived. No, we're too old for that now. Right? So look at what really matters. Number 2, build mini rituals for daily reset. Oh, this is so important. There are times I literally just go outside and breathe. Even if it's chilly out, I just go outside and breathe. because you don't need this all day retreat. It would be nice, but you don't have time for that. Hence, but 5 minutes each morning or evening to just center yourself makes a huge difference. Grounding yourself, right? To the core values, what you believe in, the deeper holiday meaning behind all the madness. Maybe it's lighting a candle while you sip morning coffee and turning on some music that has deep meaning for you, not just noise. Okay? I told you I was spending time with my grandbabies. This is not a plug for him, but Danny Go. Yep, we've had a few things about Danny Go. And here's the thing. I am all about Christmas. And so I asked my daughter, I said, well, does he have any Christmas stuff for the kids? And she's like, oh yeah, they have this. And so she showed it to me and I watched and I was like, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. Like I wanted real Christmas things with Christmas songs that are traditional, that are older, that you hear over and over and over again, that gives a sense of awe, right? But they didn't have it for the kids. I'm like, that's sad. Like, what is that? And so you've got to figure out, okay, what can I do to reset myself? Because it's going to be chaotic. You're going to get up. You're going to have to do stuff. You're going to have to prepare your home. You may still have to decorate some. Maybe you have, I don't know, 12 dozen cookies that you have to make. And that's a lot, just 12 times. Yeah, well, we won't even go there. I don't want to cook that many cookies. Now, I will do peanut clusters, just saying. But you want to be able to wake up and be like, today I choose calm. Tonight I'm choosing rest. Maybe it's getting out your joy jar for the season and writing a sentence of gratitude or what you were able to share with someone. Being present, looking at someone in the eyes and just smiling. It was interesting. I went shopping, I think it was yesterday. I've already lost track of time. And it was to 2 or 3 stores. And as I was shopping, some was a big box store, some were just kind of littler stores. But they all had groceries in them. And I was kind of all over the place finding different things because one wouldn't have one at one place. So I had to go to another place. Anyway, you know the drill. And I would walk by and men and women, and I would just smile. And I even had this little boy. He could not have been more than 2.5 years old. Seriously. Oh my goodness. He was adorable. And I came around the corner because I was looking for a blow up and, one of those air inflatables. And I didn't know really what I wanted. So I just wanted to see what they had available. I was replacing one that had broken. And as I looked, I was like, well, that's cute. And they were in, his mom and dad and the little boy was sitting in the cart. And so I picked out what I wanted and I walked by and I just waved and said, Merry Christmas. And he looked at me like, oh my goodness. Someone besides my mommy smiled at me like, this is so cool. And so he just started kind of acting like a 18-month to 24-month-old would act. I mean, he was just absolutely adorable. And I just, I said, hey, how is he doing? Because they're shopping too. And they're like, well, he's managing, but he's getting into trouble every once in a while, just a little, and I was like, I know. I said, but he is so cute, curly hair, adorable. And it just made me smile. That moment, not only did that child feel the energy from me and was seen by me, but so was that mom and even that dad. There was this breath of, oh, it's okay, right? There's other frazzled people here, but I can still smile. I saw a man that was just all by himself shopping, and I think I threw him off actually. He was coming around the corner. I think I was on the grocery side at this point. And he came around the corner. He was the only one there. And all I did was smile and I nodded. And he just looked at me and you could just tell like, what did I do? Like, was that he didn't know how to respond. I just smiled. That was all. But you see, that little bit is a daily reset, not just for yourself, but for someone else. Thich Nhat Hanh said, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. A small ritual, like a smile, to a stranger, rewires your mindset. It turns a scattered frenzy into focused flow. What are you doing in your holidays? Are you doing what really needs to be happening? And then finally, number 3, say no to guilt and yes to presence. That's the key here. Have you noticed that? Yeah, presence. We cram our days full, so full, that we lose presence, which ironically steals time by creating overwhelm and burnout. And we're like, we have these panic attacks and anxiety. We're anxious. We're just like, I can't do this and whatever. Maybe you have a son or daughter that's in college right now and they've got finals and they're at this point of breaking, or maybe they have broken a little bit and you're like, I don't understand what they're doing. They're stressed, and stress leads to things like overwhelm and burnout, because honestly, we don't know how to handle it. And sometimes we put so much weight on, I've got to be perfect, I've got to be more than enough, that we create our own panic attacks for the holidays. To show up fully where you are instead of half mentally spinning 5 moves ahead, like, okay, if I do this and this, then I can do that. And then you find yourself like only taking in air, which you're like, pretty soon that leads to other things, and that's not good, right? Let it out. Maybe when you're with family, put your phones down. Do you really need it? When cooking, be in the moment with the food, not zoning out to holiday stress. It was so fun. My grandson, he was like, I want to cook with you, Grandma. I said, come on over here, bud. And so we started cooking. And we had to grate cheese. Well, I know you're probably thinking, grate cheese? They already have it done. Oh, no. I want fresh cheese, no potato starch. I'm just saying. And so he goes, but I want to do it, Grandma. I said, of course you want to do it. And said, yes, you can do it. So I showed him how to do it. Now the grater, it's not the old fashioned where you're just like, taking the block of cheese and running it down the grater. No, this is a twist and turn. And it is the best little gadget ever. I love it. I swear by it. You can do so many cool things with it, and very, very fast, easy cleanup. Love it. Okay. You would think they were a sponsor, but they are not. Regardless, the story here is this. My grandson enjoyed his time with me. Why? Because I was present. Because I was cooking with him. I was taking time to be in the moment. Him being able to taste the fresh cheese, not the kind that's cheese, but it has potato starch and doesn't taste the same. He's like, Grandma, this is delicious. I said, I know, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is. I want more. Okay, let's grate some more. And I want you to think about this. If you say no to one task or event, show up fully for the next one without mental baggage. Right? That gives you the freedom. It gives you the bandwidth. Eckhart Tolle said this, wherever you are, be there totally. Presence isn't just a nice idea. It's a time multiplier, right? Yeah. That's why if you want to stretch your time, if you want to gain more time during the holidays, it's about what? The simple word is presence. Be fully engaged in the moments that are in front of you. And that will lead to more productivity and you being more fulfilled. But you don't have to think about that. It's just going to be a product of what you're doing by being present. My friend, the holidays are not going to slow down for you. They're not. You can try to send a little list to Santa Claus and say, can I have 12 extra hours? He's going to be like, oh, you're hysterical. Come to the North Pole. I don't have extra 12 hours to give you, but you can give me 12 hours. Because I need more elves to do the work. Yeah, been there, done that, right? Yes. Wink, wink. What you do need to understand is you have to slow down yourself to gain time and energy. And that time is important. So this year, don't let busy rob your holidays. Don't let it be the one who says, I'm taking everything from you. Connect to your heart. And then watch how your time stretches in the nooks and crannies of your day and night. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.